What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Losers Lounge. Feels like a season ender. I mean, there's still a formality to be played out. There's like an epilogue of the season, but the Nuggets lose. I mean, the story of this one, Denver dropped Game 3, 116-102. Things were different but the same is kind of how this game went. It was like, okay, you rearranged the way you lost, but you lost in basically the exact same fashion, and it was a bummer. But there's a lot to talk about, a lot to talk through. It is Friday night. We're not going to let this be all bummer vibes. We're going to let this be a little bit fun. And I got my cast here. I got Brendan Vogt. He's not too happy.
No, hey, we suffer together.
Yeah.
We enjoy it together. We suffer together. We're still together. And Nuggets basketball isn't ending.
No.
Just
spiritually.
Just spiritually, yeah.
Yeah. I got D-Line, who's just returned quickly from Ball Arena.
Yep. I left early, which is what I hate when fans do.
But you had work to do.
I left early. I came here. Well, we didn't know Dev was out of town, so I felt immediately as though I couldn't allow the two of you and Hank to take it on the chin. Poor Hank. I mean, to come into this specific Losers Lounge on his debut would be a bad look. So I'm here for you, the people.
And then I got Hank.
Yeah, first ever Losers Lounge.
Man.
First ever lounge at all.
Oh, my
Only
goodness.
going up from here.
That's true. I got to say, man, even some of the takes from, some of the smart people on Twitter, like guys that I like, friends, I would consider them friends, even, Jokic being phenomenal and the Nuggets winning, upsetting, by the way, underdogs in round one, upsetting Portland shorthanded. Worst thing, you knew this was going to happen. Worst thing that could happen to him, because then the takes come in this is why Jokic isn't really, not the 32, 20, and 10. Not the fact that they closed the game tonight with a lineup that had never touched the court today. They closed the game with it. not any of that. It's Jokic's defense. Not good enough. Not that he was carrying the entire offense. Not that he outscored, out-rebounded, and out-assisted the rest of Denver starters, which I'm not sure had ever been done. Not that. The defense. He didn't also stop a team that was 3-1 favorites in this series.
Yeah, no, it sucks to be a Denver Nuggets fan. It sucks to be a Jokic fan. But at the same point in time, we get to just enjoy this on our own. Nobody wants to join us, and we don't want them.
That's true. We don't want them.
Beat it. Anybody who thinks that Jokic had a bad game is a bad player, you know what? You're right. Go away forever.
Yeah, go away.
If you whinge about the MVP, that's just crying, and we enjoy the tears.
Yeah, he won the MVP, so that will never change. So enjoy hating Jokic, and please, don't talk to us.
But to get into this one here, the Nuggets, they're just outclassed. This Phoenix team, you didn't want to have to admit it. You wanted to see what happened in Game 3. Can they punch back? Can they find something? We talked about after Game 2, Denver has not come up with any answers, but maybe there is something that that stems the tide. Wasn't the case. This game was, like I said, different but the same. Denver still just continues to get outshot. You hope the crowd would kind of make it difficult on Phoenix. Phoenix very comfortable tonight. They came in, put their feet right up, took the remote. Very comfortable.
Would you like me to tell you about the crowd?
Yeah, you know what? It's actually the thing I'm most interested in because I need a little buffer before we get into the game.
Everyone, gather around. I'll tell you a story about the crowd at Ball Arena tonight. I arrived at Ball Arena relatively early, about a half an hour early, which is not excessively early, but that's a good lead time, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
There was the largest accumulation of people I've ever seen waiting to get into an event outside.
Couldn't get in?
Could not get in. I don't understand. Ball Arena, for some reason.
This happened last year. Do you remember last year? No, 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
I don't know what it is. Ball Arena is designed to hold a lot of people, but not to let people in.
Yeah.
And they mess this up every single time there's a big event.
Short-staffed. They're like, you know what? We're going skeleton crew tonight. We got one security guy. We got one ticket lady.
So it was past, if you've ever been, it was past the corporate art garden where we had big pillars that said ascend as one, which I appreciate that the Nuggets and the Avs are going to ascend as one.
Oh, is that really? They have ascended as one. This is definitely it's the Heaven's Gate. Hell Bop, is it coming back or something? We're all going to ascend.
I don't know.
They wore Nikes for that for some reason?
And those are called kill shots.
They were kill shots? These are, yeah. Well.
So, very long line, very frustrating. But, at a certain point in time, they started to expedite it. They got very lax on the security, which I appreciated. You just had to raise your hands and get in. So I actually made it in time to see the ceremony. I was freaking out. I was having a lot of difficulty, but I made it in time. But I was apparently one of not many because there were a lot of empty seats when I
Man,
first
such a
arrived.
bummer, man.
But the nice thing, at least, is that the Cronkies did give out a T-shirt this time. It was a white T-shirt, and guess what it said on it?
Honda of Denver or something?
Elevate Honda.
Elevate Honda. Let's go. I'm ready to run through it. We have a shirt.
It's right here, baby.
You know, I'm turning heel on the Cronkies, man. Fuck the Cronkies. They
So-
have really fucked us the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So
It took you a minute.
It took me a while, but
So anyway, so I arrived, and then I got to see the MVP presentation. Josh
let me see
Kroenke.
that piece of shit again. Let me see this one.
That piece of shit.
Josh Kroenke.
I almost spit beer on my computer.
Oh, it says Western Union. It
Oh,
says
yeah.
Western Union.
Oh,
Well, yeah, that's
Western
that's
Union.
part of the team.
Yeah, elevate Denver Nuggets,
Yeah, it's
Western
terrible.
Union.
Nothing
Western
really
Union.
captures the spirit of the fan base.
You know
like
what the
Western Union.
Western Union. Western Union. Let's go.
We
The best
love
way to send
banking.
cash.
Yeah.
The best way to send cash.
Yeah, so of course, seeing the T-shirt, we were all whipped up into a frenzy. You know, the one thing is, like, we always crow about them not giving out T-shirts. They finally gave out a T-shirt. The one night I was like, I want to walk around and see like a bunch of our T-shirts, and everyone was wearing that stupid white one over our T-shirts. So I didn't see hardly any.
You guys, we have a live audience here, but I can't tell if they want to watch the tennis match or the. I can't tell. Either way, it
Anyway,
works.
so
You know what?
I would describe the crowd as out of practice early.
Really?
They didn't quite know when to cheer MVP. They didn't quite know what to do. No defense. It didn't help that the Nuggets came out and just got immediately smacked. Like it put the crowd into a weird place where they were stunned. To the crowd's credit, they did eventually fill in. The ball was full for all intents and purposes, but
Very full
we
ball.
got some good defense chants. When the Nuggets were rallying, the crowd was responding in kind, but. Overall, it was just, I would describe tonight as a tough scene.
A tough scene. It was a tough scene
here,
You know, it was
too.
a tough scene at the bar, if I'm being honest. Like, you know, the energy in the bar even was a little different than usual. We commented on it before that there was a little bit of people weren't quite sure. We were like, I think there's nervous energy.
The Nuggets didn't exactly throw them a bone. I do
To
think
start
if
the
that-
game?
I mean, they were just
Yeah.
playing catch up all night.
Yep.
So no one really felt comfortable or confident.
And none of the runs were long enough where you're like, okay, this
No.
is it. Like, there were a couple that got close, but I think they had like a 7-0 run.
I think the closest they got was 4 points.
So something,
Yeah, just-
but it was like 6 and 13. Every time they
Yeah.
got it down
Yep.
to 6, it was back up to 13 when I blinked. So they just couldn't get over that hump.
It was a rough one. And I mean, I think at this point, you know, I've already seen one quote from Michael Malone saying, you know, we've made history before, this and that. And I like that spirit. You know, I hope
I
the
do
Nuggets
too.
come out. But, I
The
mean,
last time they made history, though, they made some adjustments.
you don't feel the team made so people have been saying this and kind of been like, I put out a thing out there that to start the fourth quarter, that lineup had never played together. And I got a lot of people saying, classic Malone, no, you know, this and that. Like, guys, any lineup that has Will Barton and Austin Rivers both will have never played together because they brought in Austin Rivers to replace replace Will Barton.
Malone.
So, like, that, it's not that Malone was like, it's time to try something crazy. It's that almost every combo Denver throws out right now in the playoffs is
Has
a
never
lineup
played
that had
together.
never played together before. So it's just the nature of what Denver has available to them. But Vote, what's your big takeaway from this one? If you had to whittle it down, what's one takeaway?
Two-pronged, which is like first prong. We could talk about adjustments all day long, but Denver just did not have the horses. They
Yeah.
just didn't. I mean, even if they tweaked some stuff and the execution was there, they're hanging around. Phoenix just had too many good players, and Denver didn't have enough. And then the second part of this, which, like, I'm not just trying to immediately switch to, like, excuse mode or anything like that, just calling it like we see it. This Suns team, legitimate title contenders, played like it all year, played like it in round one, and we thought, oh, granted the AD injury happened, but we all went, oh, maybe the Lakers are bad. No, maybe the Suns are just really good.
Yeah.
You know?
And they smacked the Lakers. I mean, everybody remembers when AD went down and they smacked them the same way they're smacking Denver, but they actually smacked them in games 1 and 3 as well. Like, it was with AD. They're a very, very talented team, a very, very good team. And I honestly, like, I kind of enjoy. I'm not rooting for them, obviously, in the series, but they are a team that, should they advance past this round, like, I do root for a team to do well because
Should they?
no, because they are a balanced team.
Of
They're
course.
a two-way team. They did it the hard way. They do all this stuff, and like watching them tonight. This is why I say Denver does things differently tonight, but the results were the exact same.
Right,
Chris
right.
Paul still got the shots he wanted. Everybody was still feasting, and then you have to give them credit. They shot the ball well at 46% from 3 tonight to Denver's 34%, of which I think 3 of those 14 made threes were Michael Porter Hail Marys at the end that he just kept making. So it was worse than that before the very end.
I mean, you know how, like, like dopey people always tell you that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, which is not that's not the
definition of insanity.
No, that's
it's not even a definition.
No, it's not a definition.
It's not a
Anyway,
definition.
But we're just seeing the same game over and over. And it's like they're able to shoot the ball well. We're not able to shoot the ball well. Jokic is getting crammed.
See, here's the thing. I wouldn't say it's the same story. Do you know the Michael Scott sketch, or where he's in improv class and every time he pulls out a gun? That's what it was. It was like always a different cue, but it always ends the same. With, I've got a gun. It's like, damn it.
They're not identical games, but they feel the same. At the end, the result is the same.
It feels good when there's a live audience actually laughing. I always think my jokes are funny, but I can't ever tell if anybody's ever laughing. Now I have an audience here. I know. I'm like, sweet. I keep going.
Yeah, Eric's kind of an easy crowd. You can make Eric laugh pretty easily.
I think I might have brain damage, guys.
Hank, what's your big takeaway?
It's just tough to keep up with the Suns with the guys that they have. I'll go with MPJ. You just need him to be on to have any shot. And just having him on isn't going to be enough either. Like, even if MPJ has the game of his life tonight, they're still going to need help from other guys who need to step up. And that's what's so frustrating to me is that it doesn't feel like you're one change away from competing with the Suns.
Yeah.
You need a couple guys to step up. You need other things to break your way. And that's just kind of the nature of losing an all-star guard.
Yeah, that's just it. Is it like, this was... we kind of knew this fate would befall us when we lost Jamal Murray. Like...
You knew it was a matter of time, or you felt like it was a matter of time.
And this is like
now the Bills do.
The Bills do, like, exactly.
Exactly.
Like, so I don't feel like. I feel like we're on borrowed time in a lot of ways, but at the same point in time, I just believe so deeply in Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets and their resolve, and hoping against hope, and I still believe in doing it and all of that. Like, but at the same point in time, like, at a certain point, like, Nikola Jokic was about as good as he can be. He didn't shoot the ball as well as we generally expect him to.
13 of 29.
But he still, like, made winning. He played winning basketball. Like, he had a disgusting triple-double, 32, 20, and 10.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know what else you can ask of one specific or one individual player. It's just...
Make free throws, make threes. Really, like, his 13 of 29, if he didn't take any threes, he would have been above 50%. Goes 1 of 6. He just couldn't get that 3 to fall. And they were all open looks, He was in rhythm. He just couldn't. And he was short on all of them. And he's been short. We've been watching this 3 games now, and I think 2 games in the Portland series where, like, all of his shorts have been really short, or all of his shots have been really short. But, Jokic tonight, look, 32, 20, and 10.
32, 20, and 10.
It's so funny. It only happened 2 other times in history, Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem. So it's like, it's one of those things. Now, could he have been a little bit better? Yeah, I do think that the Jokic that we are used to seeing makes probably 5, 6, 7 more of those shots that he took. But at the end of the day, that's just one. 32, 20, and 10 is good enough.
Yeah.
My big takeaway, and... there's no person to blame. Like, Denver was outclassed by several guys. I think that, I said this, yesterday on Locked On, but Jokic, Denver's best player. On the other side, Booker, Chris Paul, whatever, then Ayton, you've got him third. Mikal Bridges, I think, the 4th best player that they have. So he played, I think, definitively better than Michael Porter has every single game in this series.
Yes.
And you look at that and you go, Denver's second most important player is being outplayed and outclassed right now by Phoenix's 4th or 5th best player, and that's the story. And so for me, the big takeaway is Michael Porter finishes with a stat line you think is like only sounds okay. 15 points, 5 rebounds. Doesn't sound good, but it sounds like, all right, a C- game. But it was only that because he hit threes at the very end.
He was rough, man.
This has been a really rough, I think, couple weeks for Michael Porter, and maybe even a little bit of a revelation of, as good as he is, 2 things I think are true. I want to defend him a little bit here. 2 things are true. 1, he has some work to do to make himself, to unlock all those talents. But another one is, like, there's something to him making those shots at the end when it's like there's no
pressure's off.
But it's not even pressure's off. It's like the thinking is off. There's nothing to think about. You just game's over. You might as well shoot it, and he starts making them. And I think
that's the point. Right?
I do still think that there is improvements he can make and things Denver can do to better unlock him. And I'm not trying to give more blame to one or the other. It's just both are true, and unfortunately, Denver didn't arrive. We hope this playoffs would signify the arrival at that point. It has not.
But to me, it's just like you just can't. I don't believe that you can count on Michael Porter Jr. to be your number 2. He's 22.
Yeah, it's a little premature, I think.
I think that he's going to be an elite number 3. I think he's a Clay. I don't think he's, you know what I mean? Like, Clay's probably a 2, but you know what I mean? Like, if you pair him with Jamal Murray so that the other team can't just key in on him, if you're not like reliant on him to be the second player to go play along Nikola Jokic, like, it looks a lot different. For that reason, like, he's not having to be like, should I cut? Should I? Like, he has a very defined role, and he doesn't have to like worry about.
Take that.
I'm actually unlocking my front door so that DoorDash can get in.
Oh, nice! Look at that. That's awesome.
I live in this day and age, bro.
You do live. You are a man of the future, really.
MPJ though, like. He just needs so much help at this point. And that's the thing, is like he's not somebody who's going to be able to take on like a serious load himself. He's not going to be able to go get a bucket himself. He's not going to go get you stops. He needs other people to set him up, and I think that to me is why he's a number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, or like as long as you're on a team with a star point guard, it would make more sense.
That's
for
what
him
I
to be the
mean.
number
Like
3.
it's I mean, who knows? It's premature for me to say he will never be, but like I just like the way that his game is. I have a hard time imagining that he gets like quicker on his defensive synapses firing, like where to be.
Yeah, and defensively, like this series, I thought he regressed all the way back to like last year's playoffs, just as bad, if not worse, at times. And with each, miss, it just compounded and compounded. And to me, like, obviously the defense, the hands, there are so many things. There's a lot of room for growth. But to me, what I saw was a kid. He's 22, a kid who got down on himself pretty quick.
He does look like he got really down on himself.
He was a little kind of puppy in the rain out there tonight. And look, plenty of time to come back, look himself in the mirror. He hasn't had a full off season yet. Long way to go. But we were hoping this playoffs would go one of two ways.
Yeah,
it went the other way.
It went the other way. And
What do you do with your
pockets,
puppy, by the way?
Yeah.
My puppy right now.
Is it? I mean, how often is your puppy in the rain? What kind of dog?
What kind of odor are you?
He actually has a puppy.
I've never seen a puppy in the rain. I've never, because
You know
if
what
I
a puppy-
saw a puppy, I would bring him.
Yeah,
in
you know what a
if
puppy in the
was
rain looks like? He's in my bed. I'm holding him.
I leave her out there and I go, you develop a thick skin. We need you in the playoffs next year, Maisie.
Oh man, poor Maisie. Yeah, it's all tough. Like, look, we're being like a little hard on Michael Porter, but he wants to be a great player. He believes he has the talent. I believe he has the talent to do it, but unlocking those talents takes. I mean, there's just so much craft involved in NBA level basketball, and he has just so much work to do in that. And the thing that I think you brought up that's so frustrating, maybe the most frustrating, is I don't think he has ever gotten a hold of a 50-50 ball. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. I honestly to God don't think he has ever won a 50-50 ball. In fact, I would say he probably doesn't have any 60-40 balls. Like, he has to get a 70-30 ball in order for him to get that thing. And there was like 4 or 5 of those tonight where you're like, what are you doing? Quit doing this. Quit slapping. Just grab the ball from somebody. The worst one was, I think it was the first half where like the ball bounced weird and you think, oh, thank God MPJ has the rebound. Nobody's around. And he just like lost it. You're like, how? Just grab that ball.
It was pretty remarkable. There were a lot of times where the ball just seemed to be as though it was his hands were magnetic, but like opposite.
Yeah, where they go away from it.
He was like Magneto, just like repelling the ball away. It is remarkable. And once you like notice it, once we start making jokes about his tiny hands, like, you just like the number of times it just gets slapped away from him is remarkable.
And that's what's more frustrating to me is like all the balls on the ground. Yeah, it's tough when you don't get those, but he's a finesse player. Like, you get that maybe that comes with the territory. Losing the ball so many times when he's going to the rim, whatever. It adds up. It adds up.
That fast break.
It feels bad, bro.
That fast break where it's Yoke and he makes that one more quick one to
why are we talking about
Porter.
old stuff? I don't want to talk about that.
But it just, one just like a fingerprint on the ball from the defender, and the thing just goes.
It flies away.
I'm not. By the way, let me be clear. I am not selling my Porter Jr. stock.
No,
I'm just talking
Agreed.
about what I just saw.
Yeah.
He makes so many tough shots.
By the dip.
There's so many things he does that very few guys can do.
Right.
Like,
He's just
that
a lot
stuff's
of
all
room for
there. You
growth.
just need the pieces to come together, and he's asked to do more than he can do right now.
Rob Nuggs, the tiny hand king.
That's a good one. He is the tiny
Good job, Rob.
That shirt probably won't sell as well, though. I don't think.
Well, we're gonna try it.
We're gonna try it. Evan, One thing I'm really curious about, though. I've said this, Mikal Bridges, because he's so good at attacking closeouts. I'm just so infatuated with the skill, because if you're a great three-point shooter, you can put a defense in hell when they're in help side, because they want to stick close to you because you're always going to make it. But you can also put them in hell by knowing exactly when they're closing out on you, when they're just close enough that you can't get a clean shot off, but you can run around them because they're running so hard at you. And Mikal Bridges is great at this. And a lot of the Phoenix Suns guys, like Devin Booker, a lot of shooters are naturally good at this. But the Spurs are always a team that all of their guys, they has to be a skill that they work on. And it's part of like, hey, here's what our offense is. It's principle this. And like very short down that list is we attack closeouts every time we don't have a shot. And I just think with Michael Porter, that's one skill that he can't have. Think about how much panic he puts in defense's eyes to run out at him. But, you never see him like Mikal Bridges, where Mikal Bridges is always beating. And if you beat a closeout guy as bad as Mikal Bridges does, like, your defense is effed. And how many times tonight did Mikal Bridges attack where the defense...
so good at that.
Either he gets a wide open layup or the defense collapses and it's a kick out the other way and you got another even more open three. So
he's pretty good at it. He's really good at it when it's Porter closing out. It's a tough
really
combo.
true.
Yeah, Bridges has like a really... I'm going to call him Mikal Composure. He's very composed, dude.
Wow.
You know what? I think that works. Yeah, I see it.
And he's like super long, and he doesn't like MPJ. Just like at any moment, like at the beginning of the game, like if anybody like lifted their chin, he was up, jumped up. He got like preyed upon, dude. The first time there was a timeout, Michael Malone was like, "Stay down."
Oh man,
stay down. I was like, man, that sucks. That's
his defense was really rough tonight.
Dude, it was rough.
It was really rough. Why don't we hit our first break? You got the ads ready to go?
I do.
We'll hit our first break on the other side, though. A lot more players, including a lot more players to complain about.
Hell yeah, dude.
Jokic, again, outscored, out-rebounded, out-assisted the rest of the starters. We've already kind of ragged on Michael Porter. Combined.
Yeah, dude.
Michael Porter. We'll get to Aaron Gordon next.
You wait, Aaron
Gordon. Tell your Magic fan friends. They're going to love this upcoming. All right, guys. Look, I'm going to push this earnestly. This is such a well-timed ad read. Solace Meds.
Yeah, let's go.
It's a dispensary. What does that mean? They sell you pot.
It's been
a tough couple of weeks. Check out Solace Meds. They have 4 locations, one in Fort Collins, one in Wheat Ridge, one on Broadway, and one just blocks away on East Colfax from the DNVR bar. I went to the East Colfax location yesterday. I got a well-priced, I won't tell you how much I got, but I got a well-priced unit of marijuana.
Wow, we're not speaking in both gambling and marijuana purchases as units.
And then I got 20% off using code DNVR20. They knew about DNVR.
They get all hyped. You go in there, man. I'm telling you, it's like coming into the DNVR bar where everybody knows your name and gets excited. You tell them DNVR, and they're like, hell yeah.
Dude, they love it.
Free pre-roll.
No way.
What?
So you can go in, tell them about that deal, tell them DNVR sent it. Maybe they'll hook you up. Who knows? At the very least, they'll be nice. DNVR 20, they'll hook you up with 20% off. Or you could just order online, pick up at your convenience.
I'm going to go for a unit right now, if I'm being real.
Head to SOLACEmeds.com and purchase from there. Solace Meds. It's pot, and it works.
It's the medicine for the game that we just watched. The ailment that was that Nuggets game.
This is a tough, not as well-timed read, because a lot of dentists will tell you, like when you're having dental work done, not to smoke pot.
They always say that.
Keep these two separate. You're also going to want to check out Green Mountain Dental Group. They're the best family-owned dentist in the metro. They're extreme Colorado sports fans, just like you, just like me, just like all of us here at Colorado. So replace those awkward dentist combos with waxing poetic about Nikola Jokic.
Smashing pumpkins?
Yeah, you can like go in and you can tell. You could also talk to your dentist about how much AG sucked.
No. Just be like, dude, how cool is Monte Morris? It'd be a much more nice conversation.
Cool.
That's actually a miserable dental experience. The whole time he's just like, an AG, he doesn't take it hard. And you're like,
It's always a fadeaway. He gets the ball down the post. It's always a fadeaway.
Finally, remember, get a cleaning, x-ray, and exam at Green Mountain Dental, and you walk out the door with a free Sonicare toothbrush. Great deal. Check out Green Mountain Dental Group.
There you go. Aaron Gordon.
Oh,
rough shooting night. 0 of 3 from the 3-point line. 2 of 10 from the field. Guys have 4 points, 4 rebounds. What a stat line. Listen to this. 4 points, 4 rebounds, 4 turnovers. No other stats.
all right.
A rough one
The man's
for
like
him, man.
he likes symmetry. I guess. I mean, is that symmetry? I guess there's a 4 in the middle, a 4 in the.
I think it's symmetry.
Well, but the 4, if you cut the 4 in half, it's not.
No, that's not what symmetry is in this context. No. I will say that one thing to his defense, though, with Aaron Gordon. one thing to his defense. I thought he played really hard tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure. He actually really did.
He cared. Like tonight, he just sucked. But sometimes that happens to a player, especially a role player. And tonight, I thought he went hard. He defended as well as he could. Like he was going for boards. It just didn't translate to anything. And that's. I mean, I don't know if I'm like as viscerally upset about him. You know,
he just didn't play well tonight.
No.
He just didn't. And look, I actually thought he, for the most part, had a good playoff run with Denver. Wasn't great, but he was good, and he helped them win round 1, which was a matchup that was, in theory, suboptimal for him on paper. So it just wasn't there for him tonight. He had a couple moments, couple chances, and it didn't manifest. It's tough, man. Like, Aaron Gordon was brought here to be the fifth guy.
Totally. This is it. Like, Porter looks bad because he's foisted above.
Oh, yeah.
Gordon looks bad. He's foisted. Like, everybody's playing a role that's not intended for them, and we've gotten this far because Nikola Jokic is the most incredible basketball player on planet Earth, and he can, like, make the impossible possible. But this is, like, impossible. Like, this is, like, asking too much.
I mean, there's nobody in NBA history who you could sub in for Jokic and all of a sudden they win this series.
And also beat the Blazers.
Yeah. There's not that many that could have beat the. I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
But, Aaron Gordon. Anyway, I'm not too. Are you frustrated with how he was tonight?
Not at all. Like, I mean, I share your opinion. Like, he was. I saw him working really hard on defense. I saw him like really trying to cut around the screens and stay with Chris Paul at times. Also, like, I saw him try to. Like, he was working, and like. Again, like we've been saying since the moment we acquired Aaron Gordon, like, this is not a guy whose offense we can rely upon. Yeah. It's just not. Like, but now we're in a place where we're like,
hey, you really need it.
No, like we need everybody's offense.
Really
and he's like, but I told you I couldn't. We're like, yeah, but like, but we need it.
Yeah. So true. Austin Rivers, another one tonight. He plays 27 minutes. He goes 2 of 5, only 5 shots, 2 of 5 from the field. He was a team worst minus 18, 5 points. No other stats. That's a crazy stat line. Look at this. 5 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks. That's a wild stat line. And that's 27 minutes. That's a lot of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like, you talk about the build being due. Like, I do think sort of reality caught up to Austin Rivers and the Nuggets. I mean, that moment he had against Portland was incredible.
Yeah, all-timer. We'll always remember it.
And, like, justifies the deal in and of itself, right? But there was a moment where it was going to come where, like, most of these teams trying to win a title, like, plan A was not starting Austin Rivers.
Wouldn't it be awesome if we just cut him? Just like the Knicks. It's like, well, that didn't work.
No, I mean, come on. And the same, one interesting thing, Facu tonight, only plays 18 minutes. And he actually hit 2 threes that were pretty big.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I think Denver just trying to play a little bit more with Barton and Monte, try to put a little bit more, as I said, pressure. And we're going to talk about them next because both were good. It just didn't matter to the extent that you hoped. And actually, they ended up in the positive. But Facu tonight, only 18 minutes, had 6 points. 1 turnover, 1 steal, 2 rebounds. 0 assists from Facu tonight. Kind of wild. Any notes on the Tiny King? Nobody has any. Well, and it's kind of true. Like, there's not that many notes.
Yeah.
It's like,
I have a couple tiny notes. Like, he.
So dumb. Shut up. What are you about to say? Go ahead, spit it out.
I'm trying to lighten the mood.
All right, what do you got? You got a couple tiny notes?
Early on, I was like, oh, we got playoff Facu tonight. Like, okay,
yeah,
all right. Like, he started off like.
You're right. He hit some big ones early.
We started off rolling, and then they started. They started putting him in weird places. I thought, like, Malone was using him in kind of weird places. Like, he was in, he was out. Like, sometimes it seemed like Monte was running with the ones, and it just seems strange. But again, like, it sucks because you know that when he drives the lane, you're like, yeah, I bet you're gonna shoot. Here comes one shot from Facundo Campasso. Oh, he kicked it out. Like,
yeah.
It's a bummer that, like, he's no threat to score, and it just, like, limits. Like, at a certain point, everyone's like, yeah, no, fool me once, man. Like, we know you're not going to shoot. So,
but this is like one of my biggest. This is where you start to just go, man, like, Phoenix was just better. Less Facu tonight, more Monte. They still lost by 14.
That's what I mean.
And it felt like a miracle that they were within 12.
Monte was really
and Monte
good.
was good.
Monte was absolutely fantastic.
And this was sort of my point earlier when I was complaining about like relitting every Facu possession, like of course he's limited. Like, is the other team attacking him? No kidding. Is Chris Paul outplaying him? No kidding. But at a certain point, it wasn't plan A to start either of those guys. And that's, yes, they're limited, and that's the end of the sentence.
Just more guys asked to do more than what they should be asked to do in the second round of the NBA playoffs.
I know. Like, can we just maybe like for this show, can we start the show over?
Yeah.
So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Losers Lounge. We didn't have Jamal. See you later, guys.
All right, we're gonna go check out Solace Meds. We'll talk to you guys next week.
It is a bummer, but no excuses. Play like a champ. A guy who played with no excuses tonight, including breaking his own minute restriction. Only one player tonight, guys, was in the positive of guys that weren't garbage time. I mean, Bol and Vlatko were positives, but they don't count. And that was Will Barton. He plays 28 minutes tonight. He goes 6 of 14. Yeah. He gets 7 rebounds, 3 assists to go with 14 points. I thought he was solid again tonight, and he was solid in ways that the team actually needed. Another kind of what could have been.
He looked. I mean, that's the thing that's such a bummer is that we are actually getting positive players back, like positive influences back, and it's does not matter.
Oh, Dozier's going to come back next game.
Yeah, let's go. We're like, let's go. We're like, oh, we lost by 20. Like we just couldn't. No one was hitting shots. Like no one. Like it's crazy. Well,
let me put it this way. You're down 0-3. Clearly, the status quo is not working. Even 1 degree away from the status quo is not working. In Game 4, do you say F it? What do we have to lose? Change up the starting lineup?
Yes.
Monte Barton?
Monte Barton, maybe. What do you have to lose at this point? It's a 0-3, You're just...
Yeah.
Anybody want to do the show?
I'm down.
Sorry,
I'm down.
You were done talking.
I think...
The big... Oh, the all bigs.
Yeah, I was begging for them to make the Facu Monte switch this game. I would have liked to have seen that. I was hoping that we'd see some Shaq Harrison at moments on Chris Paul, like when he was just running the pick and roll and going to that spot in the middle of the lane and just hitting mid-range after mid-range after mid-range. It's like, like he's doing the same thing every time. Like if we can't fix it schematically, perhaps we can try through personnel to make a change. Like, but we're like, I, as you know, am quite a Michael Malone stan, and I'm very disappointed in him. I'm very disappointed the way he's managed these games. Like,
really?
Yes, I am. I don't think it's very frustrating to me that, it's not like we said, it's not the exact same game over and over, but it's pretty goddamn close. Like, we're not seeing any adjustments with the personnel, and like that's not always like people like to always just be like, talk about lineups like we need this. It doesn't always work that way. It's not always just like a button you push and everything changes. But my God, like we got to try something, man. And it's just not working, and it hasn't worked now for 3 games, and we've seen no adjustments. And I hate when people like Jamie Marilat are prove right. Like Michael Malone is getting outcoached to such a degree that it's so frustrating.
I just don't know what I said this on all the shows. Like usually I have an idea of, hey, let's do this. Even in the Portland series after game 1, like they probably need to start playing up more, get the ball out. And this one, I just don't know. Like Chris Paul is more, he's more dynamic of a true point guard.
Yeah.
And they have better secondary playmakers.
They've got the.
I think this. Everybody thinks about this era as the era of shooting and and that is true. It's a guard heavy era. What I think it really is the era of multiple playmakers.
Yeah.
There's the famous D'Antoni line where he said, my perfect team would be 5 point guards if you get away with playing 5 point guards. And I think there's something to that. Like right now, Denver has, and when I say playmakers, I mean like scoring threat playmakers. And right now they have Booker. They've got Booker. They've got Chris Paul. But even guys like Mikal Bridges know what to do. They're not playmakers, but they know what to do with the basketball once they get it. And then you got Cameron Payne. You've just got a lot of guys that know. Like right now, Denver has Will Barton is the guy that can score and dribble. Jokic, a guy that can score and dribble. But everybody else is one or the other. Michael Porter can score, can't dribble.
Right.
You got Campazzo, can dribble, can't score. And you just have too much of that. So that's what I think it is.
I also just
I don't know how you stop that because of that.
I totally get it, but I also know that we have a literal defensive specialist on the team.
I get that. I do think though, if you listen to Malone's comments, he always felt it was the offense that needed a boost, and so like I can agree with you. I'm just not surprised given that notion. But I just want to remind people like what these adjustments are. Marcus Howard, Shaq Harrison, JaVale McGee. Like,
but I'm saying
like these aren't like Shaq.
You're right. I wouldn't have minded.
Shaq Harrison and
with
JaVale McGee are two players that you can put in that could actually potentially change. Like, I watched Dario Saric own Paul Millsap. It was it was ridiculous.
Paul Millsap has been a real letdown in this playoff run. Like, at the end of the regular season, it kind of looked like, oh, Paul Millsap's getting his legs back. Maybe he was saving it. And then, like, the playoffs have just been kind of underwhelming, especially the series.
Paul Millsap respecter logging off.
I know, dude.
I mean, he's old. But again, he's another guy that was like, his best role in this playoffs was not playing.
Yeah.
You know, he was like breaking case of glass, not he needs to like win the bench minutes for you.
Yeah. And at the same time, though, like you look back to the last game and there's like a couple of balls that he comes up with. Like he's going out of bounds and it's going to be their ball and he grabs it and throws it off of somebody else. And he gives you like a couple of those plays. Whereas JaVale McGee, he's just like a total wild card. You don't know, is he going to be like a huge positive one night, a huge negative? Personally, I would be down for some JaVale McGee minutes instead, and I've said that since before the playoffs started, but I get it.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, none of these adjustments are going to change the outcome of this series.
You just would have liked to see.
You would have liked to have seen more of a.
It bothers me that we're not trying anything.
That's
That we're
fair.
just like march. It's like it's like old school battle. We're just lining up in the battlefield, and we're two honorable sides marching into one another. It's like, dude, come and flank him.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like the Packers kicking the field goal or whatever, you know, where it's like, hey, man, we're not going to win this game by being conservative here. Like, we got to be bold. You got to really swing for the fence, not keep, your conservative.
That's fair, man. That's a good point. And Shaq's definitely the one you could talk me into that I would have. I think it's fair to criticize Malone. It's an important reminder, I think, to people that, like, what these adjustments were.
I know, but like the thing is that Malone has won every meaningful series by making that one right adjustment, putting Aaron Gordon on to Damian Lillard, like putting Gary Harris on, like just that one thing where you're like, oh yeah, that actually changed quite a bit. Like Chris Paul is annihilating the Denver Nuggets. He is in complete control when he's on the floor. He is either driving and putting on a place where he's going to hit a mid-range shot, or he's getting the ball like Jokic does to everybody else, but the difference being he's actually driving the lane and causing the defense to collapse and then finding the open person. And there's like always somebody wide goddamn open, because like the rest of the like Jay Crowder is not this good. Like Chris Paul is making him this good. Like
I will say 116 points tonight. Like, you can live with that. You could, this Phoenix team in particular, okay, maybe 112 you can hold them to, so we could talk about 4-point difference. But the problem to me is Denver, 98 points, 105, 102.
You're right.
And so it's a little bit of that as well. And to do that, you got to play Porter, and you got him to make sure he needs to make shots. He needs to get better looks. He needs to make shots. Couldn't do either. We talked about Monte Morris briefly, but I want to go back to him. He had 21 points tonight, 5 assists, just one turn. Nope, he had 0 turnovers, 8 of 12 shooting. But like you said, it mattered a little bit. He was only a -5 in his 30 minutes, which means, Denver got killed in the 18 minutes he wasn't on the court. But I don't know. Maybe that is the big adjustment. It's just Monte and Barton start, and they play a bunch of minutes, and maybe it makes any kind of impact.
Do you guys think it might help if I get blackout drunk tonight?
Can't hurt.
All right, let's go. Okay, let's freaking go Nuggets. I'm willing to make the adjustment.
Honestly, I think all these conversations we keep coming back to, like, you squint hard enough, maybe it works. That Phoenix just better.
Yeah.
Like, Jamal Murray was in the series. I think it's anybody's series. These teams played 3 times. All 3 of them were down to the wire. 2 of them went to overtime. It's a great series. You take away such a key ingredient, and all of these solutions we're talking about win tiny margins that don't make up the giant gap.
Yep.
Without question.
And at the same time, like, you look at Monte Morris, Will Barton coming back, they're players who belong in this series. Like, they belong in playoff basketball doing these things. Like, you see the ball in their hands, and you're like, okay, things are going to go well here. Meanwhile, like, you give the ball you give the ball Austin Rivers, you give the ball Aaron Gordon, you're just like, come on, please, something good happen. You're kind of hoping to get lucky. And just seeing the difference between some of these guys, and not that I don't love Facu, it's just that he's a bench guy.
Right.
He's somebody who comes off and gives you some good minutes and makes a couple plays.
I said all along, maybe he can slow down campaign, which is weird as it is to say. He is a major factor in the series.
He's a problem.
Been really,
he was great all year.
I got to take an L on
year.
him, too, because I hated his game. And he's actually really, some of the stuff he's made is not just like,
I can't take it. His name's Campaign. I can't deal with that.
what's that?
He changed his entire look. His
He
game
has?
too.
Oh, well, that's why I hate it. In Oklahoma City, too, I was watching. I just was like, man, this guy is terrible. He might be the worst player in all the NBA, but he's actually really, really good. Like,
He's having a good playoff.
He not only is crafty with how to, like, get around the first line of defense, but he had that finish tonight that was, like, where he flicked it underhand way up, bounced perfect in. Like, he meant to do it that way, and I was like, man, that's good touch.
You know what I actually appreciate from the Colorado Avalanche and the Denver Nuggets?
Nothing at the moment? Or
No,
what?
I am completely dead inside. This doesn't hurt at all. Like even like
This is the toughest week. This is the toughest week in a while
like
for Denver, man.
if this happened like a week and a half ago, like I'd be inconsolable. I'd be like, I believed so much in it, and now I'm like, you can't kill me. I'm already dead.
Dude, if you rewound 9 days ago, and somebody was like, neither team's going to win again. You'd be like, wait, what?
no
we're
way.
up. Avs up 2-0. Nuggets going on to the second round with a little feel good. Like, they're not going to win anymore? They're like, no. Avs going to lose 4 in a row.
Losses.
Nuggets going to lose 3 in a row.
There's like a lot
Yeah,
of shit.
Was it 7 straight losses?
And most of those losses are going to be total punkings.
You're like
gonna
a
get
time
punked.
machine and go back and be like, hey, you should be watching the Rockies the next
Look,
week.
I'd have gone
Like,
camping. I'd have
go
been
watch
like,
the
sorry, I would have
Rockies.
been like
You'll
Dev.
enjoy that.
That would have been like Dev and taken off.
You're like, what? Hey, welcome everybody to the Campers Lounge. I'm Adam Matas.
Some people are tracking this. Some people are tracking this back all the way to the Colorado Rockies, tweeting, "Denver is the sports capital of the world."
The Rockies tweeted
2
that?
weeks ago,
no.
and the only Colorado team to win since is the Rockies.
Rockies!
It's always the
It's
Rockies.
always the Rockies!
Just don't touch it. Just leave it.
They say anything about Aaron Rodgers, I'll lose it.
You know
Oh, my
what?
Lord.
I think Dick Montfort personally tweeted that. I think it was him. But he's like, let me take over. I got this one, you guys.
Oh, my God.
Banger coming up. Banger.
Can we bring this up?
You have a conspiracy? What? Edgar's coming in with some fire. What do you got, Edgar?
What do you got? Edgar's off camera.
Off camera, off mic, but all right. What do you got?
Concise, Edgar.
Yeah.
Concise.
Tonight was the grand opening of McGregor Square.
Tonight was the grand opening. It's like
McGregor
it's like an
Square.
Indian burial ground. It's going to be like bad juju.
It's relevant to get people to go to his live.
Oh my God! Unbelievable! This is a terrible conspiracy.
I'm never going to McGregor Square. I'm just never going.
No,
Can I tell you-
on principle.
So
On
I don't-
principle.
I put this in the chat. You said that the broadcast picked it up. Josh Kroenke got lustily booed.
You know what?
Booed.
He should put his goddamn teams on television
He
if
got
he doesn't
booed.
want to get booed. I personally hope he doesn't get booed or laid again in the city of or in the state of Colorado.
That's a little too far.
He's like, do we already have Augusta
No
win coming
way.
up? Can we do? Let's do our ad reads real quick. Let's do our ad reads, and then the third round we'll get to win. I'm serious. Josh Kroenke never.
I
laid again.
liked him, too. I
Not
liked
always
him.
have to go to Wyoming.
Yeah.
Like the rest of us.
Oh God.
I'm gonna just come up dead, mysterious death somehow like that.
DraftKings Sportsbook is not only my favorite sportsbook, but also America's top-rated sportsbook. As of right now, if you're a new user, you sign up and you use code DNVR, you get a chance to turn $1 into $100 in site credits. All you have to do is pick a basketball team that's still in contention, bet $1, and if that team wins, you win $100 in site credits. Don't forget, DraftKings Sportsbook also offers great odds and promotions on baseball, hockey, and so much more all week long. You don't have to know those sports. You don't have to know what you're doing at all.
Yeah, just know that don't bet on anything but the Rockies, I guess.
Yeah. It's safe, secure, reliable. They know how to handle your money. They're not messing with your money. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DNVR when you sign up. That's promo code DNVR for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Wager paid out in site credits. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling
times have you
problem.
read this
Call
ad?
1-800-522-4700.
To be fair, you never go to that
DraftKings
website.
and DraftKings pick of the week. We need to do a pick of the week.
Oh, we got to do a pick of the week.
I pick the Suns.
Oh, boo!
I would pick the Suns. That's a pretty good pick.
Man, our DraftKings pick of the week is
Yo,
the Suns.
no. Our
kidding, I'm
DraftKings
kidding.
pick of the week. Our DraftKings pick of the week is Nikola Jokic to get his rebounds yet again.
That's true. He did get 20 boards
He
tonight.
got 20 boards tonight. He's been on pace to get them every time. He's been taken out because of the Nuggets. And the thing is that he'll get his rebounds next game. Like they'll leave him in.
Dude, I 100% forgot that I had put money on Jokic to get the triple-double, and then he got it tonight. Like, I forgot. I just completely forgot I did that.
Yeah.
And thank God that saved my night. That was a big one. I also put, thanks to Big T, shouts to Big T, I put Nuggets minus 14 tonight. Big T came on the pregame show, extremely confident the Nuggets were going to blow them out tonight. He said, don't take the regular line. Take Nuggets alternative
He said,
line.
what's the biggest one they got?
Minus 14.
Well, the worst part was he said it's going to take him a second to settle in.
Well,
and
hold
so
on.
the whole game you're just like, oh, okay, well, it's coming.
So do we have to officially start calling him Low T?
Low T.
Oh, God.
Wow.
No, that's not.
I don't know if you guys saw, but our
Nobody
friends at
deserves
DNVR
that.
Broncos had Shelby Harris on a 3-ring circus.
Yeah, hell yeah, they did.
He reviewed that Wagyu burger from Hassel Cattle Company. Quote, oh my God, that's good. End
Yeah.
quote. Many people are echoing that same sentiment.
Dude, how much do you love Shelby Harris now?
The DNVR
He's
bar.
so dope.
Dude, he's like so dope.
He just
Came
hung
on as
out
a
here with
homie.
us for like 2
He hung out, he
hours,
played
3
NBA
hours
Jam.
after.
Really?
I came and I gave a ruling on their snake draft of bar food. And I went through and I read each one. And then Shelby Harris's second pick was fried mushrooms. I eliminated him right away.
No way, that's,
I love
that's a
that.
great
I love
one.
that.
I love that.
And you
man.
know
I'm a
what? When
big
it comes
fan.
to burgers, Shelby knows what he's talking about. If you're in our bar, you probably do by now as well. Check out that Wagyu burger. I suggest medium rare. That's just my suggestion. Hassel Cattle Company now offering DNVR listeners a buy 3, get 1 free on their flank steaks. These delicious steaks are lean and very flavorful. Should be thinly sliced against the grain when carving. Super affordable, just $9.99. Now you can buy 3 and get 1 free. Use code DNVR FLANK at checkout. That's DNVR FLANK at checkout for your buy 3, get 1 free. You can still use code DNVR10 for 10% off your entire order. Check out Hassel Cattle Company and their Wagyu beef.
Mushrooms are really interesting. Like,
Fungi.
yeah, like even like as a food, but also just as like what they are.
Just like watching like the
Oh,
high speed.
Yeah, those
when
ones
they
are
blew.
cool. Yeah,
They
time
are
lapse, I think.
mushrooms very strange. You're right, Adam. That's a great point.
I think mushrooms are awesome.
Get real strange.
Guys, Illegal Pete's is delicious. Illegal Pete's is also hiring. They're
What?
There's a hiring fair on the 9th of this month at the South
That'd be
Broadway
a dope
Pete's
place to
location.
work, man.
It's
Dude, I
from
would
10
love to.
a.m.
I would love to order illegal Pete's from any of you out there.
It's from
Burritos
10
all
a.m.
day.
to noon on the 9th and on the 10th at the DTC Pete's location from 9 to 11. No appointment or resume necessary. Just show up. If you're interested but can't make it to the fair, email people@illegalpete's.com. People@illegalpete's.com.
Yo, let's get back to work,
and they'll
people.
set you up with an interview. Illegal Pete's cares about their employees. They pay a living wage to all employees, starting at $15 an hour plus tips, free food and drink on the shift, discounted off-duty 401k match, PTO to all employees, an option for health insurance for all full-time employees. Also, just check them out for their food. It's delicious.
Alrighty, perfect. We are back here, and we have the man with the wind in his hair at Ball Arena, live from Ball Arena, and he's joining us now. Harrison, I can't see him. Up there he is. Harrison,
we can
what's
feel
going on,
him,
buddy?
though.
Welcome in.
Hey guys, my first note, the Illegal Pete's hiring fair already happened. It was earlier this
Oh, it's the 11th, isn't it? Yeah, that's
Was
a
that
good point.
today?
That's a good point, Harrison.
Good
Wow.
catch, Harrison.
I
That's
thought
a
I
great
nailed
note.
that.
That's
really-
a really good note.
We really miss you.
We really miss you.
Harrison Wynn, the Jamal Murray here. Faku over here, really, he's doing his best. He's doing his best.
Yeah, what more can you ask for?
None of us noticed. I set the dates 3 times. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for real. Why do you know this, Harrison? No, Harrison, I have to ask you because we're trying to decide, was the crowd tonight bad, okay? Nobody seems to be arguing good, but what was it tonight?
I felt like after everybody got here, and it was a little bit of a later arriving crowd because it seemed like there were some issues getting in, I thought the crowd was fine after everybody got here. I really did. I saw a lot of that too. Everybody saying the crowd's not good. I thought it was okay. It just wasn't a game where there was a ton to cheer about, but when the crowd needed to get loud, I felt like they got loud.
I would agree. As a member of the crowd, you're talking about me when you say that. By the way, I was in that crowd, Adam Mares.
I'm just saying, I was reading the timeline tonight, and everyone's like, this Denver crowd sucks.
I was saying MVP. I was. They were having an.
Yeah.
Can they hear you, Kale? No. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Kale says ESPN was having a hard time with their crowd microphone, so you couldn't hear it.
Yeah, well,
I
whatever.
don't know. I'm personally offended as, again, I am the crowd.
You were the crowd. You sucked tonight. We couldn't even hear you. We couldn't even hear you.
To be honest,
Is that D-line? Hold on.
to be honest, I did suck a little bit. I did leave early.
You did leave early. All right, Harrison. Well, this was a downer. We've kind of been up, though, I feel.
I'm having fun.
Dancing at a funeral. What was the mood like in the locker room, especially with Michael Malone?
Well, I wouldn't say he was super down. I mean, he was pissed off that they lost, but he wasn't calling his team soft. He wasn't saying that they didn't play with any effort. He said his guys played hard, and he felt like they left it all out there tonight.
All right. Well, that's not exactly encouraging.
Well, that was all of it.
That was everything. They left it all out.
You can't just say they quit a third time.
He didn't say we got something up our sleeve for Game 4 that has everybody excited.
Like,
You didn't say that.
Right. Like, I think Vought's right. You can't say they quit 3 games in a row, but I feel like you can't say they left it all out there tonight.
Not true.
That was clearly his message to his guys, though, because like Monte Morris said that, like, we played hard. Like, that seems like the sentiment with the Nuggets. Like, we played hard tonight. We just didn't have it in the end.
All right. Yeah, I mean, they definitely didn't have it.
Can we update? Is there, Kale, are you able to update the graphic? Can we say we continually back down?
All right. What else?
We repeatedly backed down.
So disappointing. What? We got tired. We didn't back down, and then the playoffs kept going. We got really tired. We just
Hashtag it was a short off season.
short off season. We're a little tired, man. I mean, come on, we're so tired. What else did Malone have to say, Harrison?
So Malone said he thought the game was lost in the last 2 minutes of the third quarter. He said our defense was keeping us afloat. It was 82-74, and then they closed that quarter on an 8-2 run. The only thing I remember from that stretch was just Dario Saric blowing by Paul Millsap continually. That's what I remember from that stretch.
Yeah, that was a really, really rough stretch. I don't know if the game was won or lost. I mean, it might have been lost there, but Denver was holding on by a thread the entire night. Like, the entire night they were just spinning out of control, holding on by a thread, and then that happened, and it was like, yeah. But I personally don't feel like that wasn't going to happen 6 minutes later. You know what I mean? It just almost felt inevitable. You wanted them to, like, really take the lead or something, and they were never close to that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were down 8 at that point. If they could have held an 8-point advantage by the time Jokic got back in, like, maybe it would have been different then.
Maybe.
But then by the time he got back in, it was like a 20-point game.
Yeah, it was over by then for sure. All right, what else?
So Monte Morris, obviously one of Denver's role players to try to help out Nikola Jokic tonight. Malone said he challenged Monte Morris in a text message this morning and asked Monte what kind of Monte Morris were they going to get from him tonight. And Monte said he replied with a simple, "I hear you," and went out and had a great game. So Malone challenges Monte Morris. Monte Morris delivers. And then when it came to Will Barton tonight, another role player who stepped up, you could tell in Malone's pregame comments that Will Barton was going to play more, even though he was on the same minute restriction.
Yeah.
And Will came to Malone and pretty much said, like he said after game 2, I'm willing to take the risk. Play me more minutes. If I look like I'm not right, if I'm not playing well, take me out then. And Malone pretty much said that the training staff's going to be upset with me, but I put my trust in Will on that one.
Yeah. I mean, those guys were great. It's funny that he sent that text messages because the answer was the best version of Monte Morris, and the second answer was it wasn't going to matter.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He should have sent text messages to Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter and Campazzo and Rivers and Paul Millsap. He should have kept texting everyone. Should have been a group text.
They got a great Nikola Jokic game. They got a great Monte Morris game. They got a great Will Barton game.
Yeah.
Yo, I can't believe that Jokic didn't win on the day that
I know Djokovic.
Djokovic beat Nadal at Roland Garros.
In like an incredible match.
Nadal
too.
never loses on clay. Never.
Well,
except for he did today.
All right, take us some players. Some players have something to say?
Yeah, so the MVP spoke tonight. I don't know if you guys saw, but his 32, 20, and 10, third player ever to put that up in the playoffs.
It was Kareem and Thomas Welsh, right? Close.
Yeah, let's
JJ
go with
Hickson
that.
was the other. Or?
Forgot about him.
I always love when there are those stats. There's like only 3 times: Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and
Peaches.
Ryan Bowen. You're like, well, but the last one there kind of ruins it a little, but okay. All right, what else? What else, Harrison?
So Nikola Jokic has
Oh,
that
Paps,
game.
dude.
We'll get
Just
to it. We'll
leaves
get to it.
everything. Just leaves everything that he has on the floor, and then he goes into the locker room, and he said, "I said to the guys, it was my bad. I really need to be better."
Oh, I like it. And honestly, part of it is true. Like, I do think Jokic could have been better, but at the same time, he did 90% of the work.
He also just
he could have
recorded-
done 100% of the work. So
He also just recorded a stat line only recorded
Yeah.
by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain.
he needed to be a little bit better.
Come on,
than,
Jokic,
than
dude.
Kareem.
Dude, the supremely messed up part is we all kind of believe that. We all watched that game and thought, oh, he
I mean, I totally do. He
Like,
missed 4 or
oh,
5 that I
yeah.
was like, hey, he actually missed like 10, but 4 or 5 of them that I'm like, you make that 90% of the time. So.
Dude, what would Nuggets basketball be without Nikola Jokic? What would I be?
We'd be a month and a half into vacation already is where we'd be.
Oh man, we got to get rid of Nikola Jokic.
I'd still be an
I'm ready for
investor.
vacation.
You'd still be, doing marketing. We'd all be in our old jobs. All right, Harrison.
So more from Nikola. He agrees. He said, "I think I missed a couple easy ones," but he also said that he thought DeAndre Ayton did a really good job. And like that was another one of my takeaways. I know Nikola missed a bunch, but I felt like Ayton played really good defense tonight.
did.
Like,
He
Ayton was
absolutely did.
really solid tonight.
Yeah.
Ayton is a number 1 overall draft pick. We shouldn't be surprised that he's good. Like we should expect him to have been. Like he's just finally coming into his own. He's going to be incredible.
It's very
very good
rare that a player with his athletic gifts, like length, the way he jumps, this that, doesn't like try to highlight those. Like he's not blocking Jokic's shot. He probably could average 2 block shots per game in the series. Instead, he's averaging 0 because rather than block shots, he's just making it hard for Jokic. And it's
Not
like
biting. Yeah.
yeah, just not biting. He's like, hey man, if you're gonna make a bunch of these little jump hooks, like I'll live with it. And that's smart, man. So hard to be disciplined when you have the talent to make the spectacular.
Also comes down on the other end, all this talent just plays within himself.
Yep.
Just makes the right play.
Roll hard.
Roll hard,
Yep,
yeah.
Yeah. I love this Suns team, man. They're
good.
great.
They're a fun team.
Me
well
too. I hope
coached.
that they I hope they all get stomach pains tonight, though.
Serious
I
ones.
hope they eat a bad pizza.
Bad pizza.
I'd be willing to bring him a bad pizza.
I actually could go for a bad pizza.
Oh, now you're going to eat the bad. We're going to come up with this plan to sabotage. Then Eric eats the damn pizza.
Dude, I haven't eaten all night. I need a bad, I'll take a pizza, bad or otherwise.
All right, what else we got?
So Nikola was just kind of talking about the trophy presentation. I thought it was just classic Nikola Jokic how he gave the same speech tonight that he gave when Adam Silver told him he was the MVP, like with the rest of his teammates around him on Tuesday. He just recycled the same exact speech.
You
Like,
wanted
this is
another
my
speech from Jokic?
But this is my trophy, but it's really your guys'. It's like he's used the speech twice now. I love it.
Jokic is
love it.
in his own personal hell having to give 2 speeches in 1 week.
I hope he uses the same speech next year.
Yeah, but he said
Tonight
He
after the
wishes
game, he
life-
said, "This is actually only my trophy. None of you assholes stepped up and helped me tonight. It's my trophy."
What was I talking
It was,
about?
dude. I thought it was really cool though. Like it started off with his brothers,
Yeah.
and then all of the entire team came out as one. They all like.
We didn't see it.
It was. I have it here on my phone. I'll show you later.
All right, can't wait.
But don't swipe after you watch. the one
Okay.
video.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Uncomfortable.
Yeah, but Yoke said he wished that his wife and parents could have been there.
They
But
were.
then he went on to like thank his coaches, Nuggets ownership, Denver's front office. He thanked everybody. So
All right. All right. Some people don't deserve it, but
I really liked him before too. He seemed like a cool guy.
I know. What else? What else, Harrison?
let's go to Monte Morris. I told you about Malone texting him and that whole deal. He said on Nikola Jokic, you can't buy heart, you can't teach toughness, you've got to have it in you, and he definitely has that. I thought that was very succinct quote.
That's cool. All righty.
Yeah.
I like that one. I love Monte. Like Monte,
He's
I
the
like
best,
him. Yeah,
dude.
he's the best.
Mr. Nugget.
Mr. Nugget.
I felt like this was interesting for Monte, though. He was just talking about, like, he was really just asked a question about how Phoenix has just dominated them pretty much this series. And he said that, quote, I feel like we give in once we face a little adversity.
Ooh.
And, like, that is so unresilient.
Yeah. It's interesting.
So that was surprising.
Yeah.
Can we get goddamn Peaches by Justin Bieber on the jukebox? What do I have to do? Or at least
All right, wrap this up. Give us a couple more, whatever else you got. Just unload the chamber here.
Will Barton, he just said, quote, he's pissed right now. You could really tell, like, he played his heart out. He put himself at risk, played a great game, and Denver can't even make it close at the end. But here's what was notable about Barton. He said he's had conversations with Malone about starting. Malone knows he wants to start. So game 4, he's probably going to be starting.
All right.
Sure.
It's kind of weird because we're all calling for it, but him calling for it feels weird to me. But all right, he's calling for it. He deserves it.
He's right.
He is right.
Yeah. Barton said a lot of cool stuff about how it's just been really special to be a part of Nikola's journey, his MVP journey, and then just to be there on the floor with him tonight when he got the trophy. He just said that was really special. And then, he was just pissed, like I said. He said, we didn't give him enough help. We just didn't provide enough help for him in the end. And that was one of the stories of tonight.
Yeah, definitely was. Well, that's cool. People don't realize, but Thrill really is Jokic's biggest fan.
Dude, Thrill's the best. I hate when we get to the part where the season where everybody hates Will Barton.
I feel like fans' hatred of Will Barton has cursed the Nuggets. A little.
Ooh.
You gotta cheer on your guys, man.
I know. Well, I mean,
It's definitely a black mark on, like, Nuggets
Yeah, it's a
fans,
black
I
mark.
feel like.
People just don't get it. We haven't done our job to kind of show all the things Barton does.
I made a
but-
goddamn T-shirt.
Yeah, we've definitely tried to do our part in now.
Is that all? We got anything else?
That's all I got from the post game, but I mean, it was just awesome to be here tonight for the trophy presentation. Like, the Nuggets getting an MVP. I don't know if that will ever happen again. It probably will never happen again. But that was just something I'll never forget being here. It was special for sure.
Yeah.
Win, what was the best part of tonight? Was it watching Jokic win the Nuggets' only MVP award, or was it me coming up behind you and rubbing your back when you weren't expecting?
It was definitely neither of those. It was the perch is back.
The
That
perch,
halftime
baby.
is
Let's go
back.
for perch.
Yo, we
That was
perched
the
it up.
best part of tonight. Saw some perch regulars up there. It was a good time.
Hell yeah, Perchers. Fellow Perchers unite.
We got perched.
Harrison, you're doing the Lord's work. It's Friday night. You can get home safely. Can't wait to see what it is you cook up for us, man. Oh, there he is. He's out of here. And there's a new shirt. Showtime!
Oh!
Guys, all that stuff we said about Michael Porter earlier, not true. Buy the shirt. Showtime.
Slow time.
Wait, no, there it is. Oh, man, come on. Kayla's just throwing shirt after shirt.
What
There it
is happening
Look at
right
all
now?
of these shirts.
Wow, this is a
Wow.
complete
Wow.
disaster.
Tail's falling
What
apart
a
back
breakdown.
Wow. Kayla's going full Aaron Gordon tonight. Just all misses. Do you could shut off? Are you trying to shut off the audio?
We wouldn't
There
mind
we
if
go.
Kale,
Fred
did you visit Solace Meds during the break, the intermission? All right, let's get to our super chats here to wrap up today's show and send everybody off into their weekend. What do we got? We got a couple great ones. I saw somebody really threw down some dough.
Yo, we got a $50 banger.
All right, here we go. Not to pile on, but has MPJ been outplayed by Torrey Craig? Ow! Takes another shot of Rakia.
Bridges, sure. Yeah.
No, he's not been outplayed. But
No.
Torrey Craig's been good. Like, only because that every single thing Torrey Craig does.
All
you
the
notice.
Suns are good.
All the Suns are dude. All the, but like every single thing he does, you're like, ugh. But really, at the end of the day, he like scores like 6 points.
He had
or-
5 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's like-
Pining over Troy Craig is down so bad.
Yeah, that is really down
I
bad.
took matters in my own hands, by the way.
I do not miss Torrey Craig. I will say that. He would have
by
played
the way,
with all the injuries. Yeah, but whatever.
DeAndre Ayton apparently read Jokic's stat line aloud tonight with like a look of shock on his face at the presser and went, "Yep, he's the MVP." So there's something fun.
There you go.
There's something.
Regardless of outcome, thanks for all the post-pregame broadcasts all season, DNVR. This has made Nuggets fandom way better. Great job, Kale.
Yo, I met a few people at the arena tonight, and they said the same thing. Like, there's something really special about experiencing all of this together. I mean, obviously, like we are ascending as one right now. But the thing is like, you know, I mean, life is dark and chaotic, and it's fun to like come together as human beings and find common ground around something. And it's even better when it's around the top human being.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And I will say, it's funny, we talk about this all the time, but our, you know, competitors, I don't know if there really is such a thing as a competitor in this like space or whatever, but you know, they always try to make you as miserable as possible. Like, they just are like, Denver fans, you're down right now, kick you.
Yeah,
like,
they're
you
like,
guys thought this team was going to
Malone
win a
has to
game?
go.
They suck.
This is
And
what
I'm the one that told you they suck.
This is what they just did to the Avalanche. They're like, Mac is a choke artist. Meanwhile, he's the best goddamn hockey player in the world. But they just like, the thing is like, it's very easy to feel like when you're feeling bad, saying the bad thing is the truth.
Right.
I'll tell you what, man. I don't know what to rate for grades tonight, so I'm just gonna call for someone's job. That shit seems so much easier to do.
Easy.
Just get really lazy, crack my fingers, and
Trade
say,
them
fire
all.
everyone.
Is that-
yeah, just like I told you, the Nuggets are not going to win the championship this season. I told you that. Remember?
I told you. Remember
I
said, I called it.
I have journalistic integrity, even though I say things like choke artist, which is, by the way, not journalistic.
Yeah, it's like the MO really is like that Lakers fan that's like, how would you fix the Lakers? First, fire everyone. Second, bring all the best players back. Like, that really is how like these guys are talking about. You're like, no, that's how the analysts are like, Denver sucks because they need to fire, clean house, and bring in all good players. Like,
It's just it's so funny to me that the world has existed in such a way that sports have to be like this nasty place where you only talk about like how players are letdowns and they're not living up to their contract, and like that's the way that sports have been traditionally handled. And like, it can be done a different way. Like, it can actually just be a rallying point where we can all watch and talk about our experiences, our shared experiences together, and like make it feel like we're not alone in this cold world. Or we could just call everyone that they need to get fucking fired. Like, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, it's true. Like, it's funny. Sometimes we joke that it's like we've cracked the formula. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah, well, I haven't cracked that.
Secret formula that it really works.
Yes.
Like, DNVR, what's the secret sauce? We're just not a-holes to our audience. I don't know.
Yeah, we actually, and we're like, if this offends anybody, I'm sorry. Like, we like the teams.
We do.
We like the Nuggets. I'm sorry if that offends.
And you know what? I hate to really. It's been a tough night. I hate to really upset people. We sell shirts too.
What?
We do.
Everybody does now, though.
We sell shirts.
Everybody sells shirts now.
I'm not sorry.
They used to say that was dumb. Now they're doing it. All right, what do we have here? It's not a scoring problem. It's a defensive problem. To Denver W this game, the score should be 93-90. Suns have been running the same 4 plays 3,000 times.
Yep.
Yep, true. I think, you know, the reason Michael Malone says it's an offensive problem, the reason I think it is because Denver can't stop them. You know, again, 116 points. That's not the worst. I have more faith in Denver scoring 118 points tonight than I did in them keeping Phoenix to 100 points.
That's like the limit.
I don't know that Denver can guard Phoenix, and that's the key to it. So then you have to say, can you punish him
What
on
if
the
you
other
just start
end?
like punching people? How many fouls can you get for punching one person?
Yeah, you just bring in JaVale and you're like, hey, man, we brought you in for one
it's
reason.
Just one foul, right?
Chris Paul's really killing us, man. If you could just punch him in the face, it would really... This, by the way, was the NBA of the 80s and 90s that people are clamoring for when it's like every team had one goon that just came out
This
to
is what
hurt.
hockey has figured out.
Yeah,
that
that's
the
what
NHL,
sports were.
Yeah, hockey's figured this out in a way that basketball has not. You just have to have a guy that will come out and literally fight the other team. Yeah.
All right, what else we got here? Would you guys exchange the 2-3-1 comebacks last year to have a healthy Nuggets team for the postseason this year?
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Got a real
question.
Sophie's choice. You
That
know what?
is a
I say
tough
no,
one.
man. You can't change the past.
Dude,
You can't change the past.
last year
But
was
that's the question is if you could, though.
Yeah, but you can't. Like, here's the thing about it.
I
The
wouldn't.
3-1
Last year was magic.
last year was too great, and we have had this sort of. We're just talking about some of our core principles. One of them is that a championship is the ultimate goal. It's the best. But there's also these other little things along the way. And I'm telling you, those 2-3-1 comebacks, 2 of them.
Two of them.
2 3-1 comebacks were such
Never
a like.
forget them. Never forget.
It was
my
such
whole
a
life.
great thing that it's like, why do we? That was not a championship, but it was the next best thing to a championship. Was
I know.
that.
I will never forget it my whole life. Things I have forgotten my whole life. My door key code to get into my apartment.
Yep, you've forgotten that.
Forget that all the time.
Like
Never-
98% of my childhood. Forgotten.
God. Yeah. Anything that happened before, I don't know, I finished that beer.
Which one of my kids was born in February and which was in October? I forget that all the time. I always confuse it.
Yeah, but I'll never forget that 3-1.
I feel like after they come back from 3-zip, you'll forget.
Oh.
Oh.
Y'all want us to get
throw it out
Rivers
there.
back for next season? We got plenty of time, Sam. I appreciate the super chat. Plenty of time for the offseason. In fact, the offseason, it won't be as long as usual, but it's going to be longer than this
I'm
last
not
one. was.
positive I want Rivers back for Game 4.
Jeez, that's so harsh. That's so harsh. I will say one thing about this. I do think that tonight Denver needed some momentum, and they never got it. The thing about playing at home is you get a little momentum. The crowd's behind you, everything, and it snowballs. Tonight they never got that moment, and maybe it was because the crowd was so goddamn late arriving. But they
weren't late arriving.
You thought the MVP ceremony was gonna like get that place so loud that you can't even hear like. Tip off, you can't even hear the thing going, but it just wasn't that. They got behind immediately, and And tonight, if you get momentum going, you're banking on Rivers and Campazzo and all the role players hitting threes. Aaron Gordon hitting threes. We just never got that moment tonight. Do you think Conley talked to Malone before trading for McGee? It just seems odd that we would trade for McGee and not play him. Either way, the future is bright for the team when Murray comes back.
Was McGee just like a straight up like if they play the Lakers move? Like somebody to throw out there?
Yeah, I think honestly, yes. Yeah, and he would have come.
Yes.
So much of the season is so effed because the Nuggets traded their best their guard defender for a wing defender, and then never had to go against a wing.
Dude, this is the best laid plans of mice and men.
That's so true.
We lost Jamal Murray. We didn't play the opponents we were expecting to play. Like our perfectly laid plan just like fell into ruins.
Yeah, just fell into ruins. So I do think that McGee probably did have a role to play against an Anthony Davis or a Lakers team, but they just didn't face him. And the other thing that people don't understand, and I see a lot of takes about like Hartenstein or this or that, sometimes agents do things for players that they like when it's like, hey, we brought Hartenstein in as a flyer. We'll see if it works out. Didn't work out. We're going to send you to a place where you actually have a role because we're not going to be able to sign you next year anyway. We don't have a point for you here. So we'll bring in JaVale. Who is he going to play? Probably not unless we play the Lakers. But Hartenstein, we did right by you. We always want to try to do right by our players, and we got you to a place where you'll play. So it's as simple as that when it's the margins like that.
Yeah.
They got rid of Jordan McRae last year, right? When he came, they like traded for him, and he like threw a fit, and they're like, all right, you're out of here. Like, where do you want to go? All right, there you go. You got it.
Dude,
podcast, because there's some trades that happen so that a guy doesn't get released, like the Austin Rivers thing, so that
Right.
they're not like dead weight for the next free.
Right, exactly.
All right, let's finish these. Get out.
Someone is wearing shorts. All right.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, thanks for the shout out, buddy.
Yeah. Anyway, every time that you refer to Hank, you should weave in the phrase hanky panky.
He
I've been
loves
doing,
hanky
I've been doing it for
panky.
the past year and a half. Hank hates it. It gets funnier every time.
I'm starting to really like it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a reminder.
Is Shaq Harrison and Malone beefing or something? You're not getting any offensive production from Gordon or MPJ. Put in Shaq to guard the perimeter. I mean, look, they're not going to not play Aaron Gordon. Like he's such a big piece, and they're worried about their offense. So to play Shaq and Aaron Gordon, what a miracle it would be if that team unit scored. Like it would be so crazy if that unit came in. So I think that's it. But that being said, Game 4 is a kitchen sink game, and Malone probably throws the kitchen sink at everything, and maybe that includes Shaq Harrison.
What if they just like make one adjustment everyone's clamoring for, and they win by like 30 points?
Oh, McGee starts and Shaq Harrison plays a bunch, and they just
they're
murder.
like, why did we?
Yeah, we would do it. All right, super chat. All right, sweet, love it.
Love it.
Is it too dramatic to start talking roster changes? Well, I mean,
Yes.
we just have a whole offseason for that. Like, there will
Please
be
and ball,
roster
go back.
changes. Every year, there are roster changes, so there will be. But it is too soon because there is a Game 4.
Bleez and ball, go back to outer space, please.
What?
Remember?
Still got
it was
the
revealed to us last time. He's from
Still
outer
got
space.
the MVP Best Human. That was Peps. Hell yeah for the $50
Hell
super
yeah,
chat. We
dude.
love it. You
Thanks,
picked
Peps,
us up,
dude.
man. Hopefully we helped. You can cue the outro music. Hopefully we helped to pick you guys up. Remember my favorite saying, we suffer together.
You know, I
One
wish
day
your-
we won't.
I wish your favorite saying was, "Man, that was a great game."
Well, it's not as catchy as thing. But honestly, we're going through this whole journey together, and now it's like one of those things where, what is the movie? There's a movie, right? When it's like, men It's an honor to die alongside of you. Like, this is what Sunday feels like. We're coming in and we're
Yeah, I think I was like probably saving.
yeah, it's something like that. I mean, maybe it's a little heavier. I didn't want to go full. I was hoping he was going to be
Oh,
the
I'm sorry, you
300
didn't want to
or
get too heavy
Game of
when-
Thrones or something.
You don't want
know,
to get it too heavy when you were just talking about guys
not like an actual war.
wanting to die together.
But I mean, I'm saying like if it was, versus
could've been
space
the three-
aliens, you're like, all right.
it could have been the 300.
It's just tough because like last year they go down 3-1 in round one. We're like, all right, guys, this series is over. We do
Right.
a premature funeral. Then it was round two. They go down 3-1, and we're like, okay, they're probably not going to win, but we don't want to do the premature funeral thing again. And then they come back, but now it's 3-0 and there's no Jamal, and so this time it really does feel like a funeral. But hey, when they play on Sunday, Jokic will still be on the team. When they play next season, Jokic will still be on the team.
Yes,
Nuggets ain't going anywhere.
This is
Nuggets
like
ain't going anywhere.
Yes, and last year when we were planning our preemptive funerals, it just felt like, oh man, we're dumb. Why do we think this team is good? And this year is just like, man, this sucks. Like, we really had the chips lined up in a way that felt like the path was there for us. We got for 8 beautiful games, 10 games total, 8 beautiful ones. The Nuggets literally had the best offense in the history of the NBA, which
true.
I think is good. I think that's good. So
A flash, a moment in time.
So, maybe that question earlier is actually like more profound than I gave it credit. Like, what would it look like to have that squad that we saw for 8 games that shut down the NBA media? Everyone was enthralled by it. The Nuggets got top billing, and it wasn't talking about how Jokic was overrated on news shows. And like, what would that look like in this playoffs?
I got to do Zach Lowe's pod. Like,
Yes.
I was like, oh, hey, I've arrived. And then it
to
was,
talk about that, right? Yeah, and you're like, do you want to talk about how Jokic is overrated, Zach Lowe?
I was such a big timer, man. Like,
Yeah,
you guys, I didn't even come into the office. I said,
No.
you guys do the work busy work. Are you kidding me?
You stole my car.
I stole your car. Like, it's my car now. I mean, and then look what happened. The Smuggets. The Smuggets.
Hey,
were smited.
we see you thanking us. It is mutual. Thank you for hanging tonight of all nights. It's a tough one, but a bunch of you hanging out all night long. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon, guys.
Wearing shorts on Sunday. Be ready for it.
Oh my God. Freaking A, dude.